We're gonna do a 300 Blackout AR pistol. I'm super excited for today's video, guys, because this is what I've wanted to do for quite a long time, actually. And I know that 300 Blackout is obviously expensive right now, and you can build this in any caliber that you want to, 223, 5.56, it's all just dependent on the barrel that you get. But with that said, I wanted this video to be very special. And what I mean by special is I wanted it to have adjustable gas block, because sometimes 300 Blackout needs a little tweaking with the gas, and I wanted it to have a flush compensator, and I wanted it to be able to collapse to be really tiny. And so I have this box of goodies, and we're gonna unbox everything today. We're gonna take a look at it, and I'm gonna show you everything that I've got for this. And then later on in this video, I'm gonna show you what it looks like completely built. So I'm gonna put together a list for everything that I'm using. And if you wanna find that, follow the very first link in the video description. I'll also pin that link in the comment section as well. Right now, I wanna go over the tools that I'm gonna be using before we actually get into the receivers and all the other parts. So the first thing we need to talk about is tools. I cannot tell you how having proper tools makes one of the biggest differences in your experience with ARs. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can get by with a lot less tools, but having better tools, I mean, it just changes the process of building. The first thing that I like to use, and I've been using this since last year, is the AR-15 Master Armors kit. I got this kit, I think, summer of 2020, and this thing literally has every single part that you need to build an AR-15. And I've made a complete video of it, so I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail, but you get a really cool hammer that acts as a tool. You get these bench blocks, you got vice blocks. You have a special tool to install your takedown pin. You have a lug locking upper vice block. You have torque wrenches. You have punches. Well, let's see if you can see them here. You got all these punches and stuff. I will say, I don't think that the punches are the highest quality, but with that said, I haven't bent any yet. However, if you want a really good set of punches, you're gonna have to go spend over $100 just for a punch set, just to get something that won't bend. And I've never done that. I've always bought, affordable punches, and if they bend, I remake them. This thing has so many cool different tools, like this hammer, for example. These are your hammer tips. It also comes with additional tips, and then these unscrew out of here, and then they'll screw into this portion right here. Whoops, I dropped it. And now you have your hammer. So that's cool. And there's a rubber, a plastic, and a brass. A really interesting guy here. You also got a castle nut wrench. You also have a wrench right here. I believe that this wrench here does like your mil spec barrel nuts. This does like your muzzle brake or whatever muzzle device you have. I mean, there's so many different tools to it. I have really been loving this. So I'll make sure to put a couple of links to where this is. And honestly, if you bought a lot of this stuff separately, you would not get it for this price. I forgot exactly what the price is, because sometimes they're on sale, sometimes they're not, but I'll find the cheapest prices and put them over there at the list for you. A couple of other notable tools, especially if you don't buy an upper that's already built. Number one, I have a torque wrench here that measures in inch-pounds. That's gonna be very important. I will say, I will put links to where you can find this, but I will say this, I do wish it came with a lot more bits that were smaller and different sizes, but it still does the job. I have Aeroshell 33 grease. You'll see why when you go to the tutorials. And then because I have a completely different gas block and I'm gonna have to install the gas tube, we have a gas tube specific roll pin punch. This will make a big difference in your building experience. Another thing that you will need, and I will make a tutorial on this separate to this series, is if you're not gonna use the gas block that I'm using today, this is a dimpling jig, so you can actually dimple your barrel so your gas block won't spin. Also, guys, I made a video last year on building a portable build station with a folding bench and a way to put a vise on it and all that stuff. Now, getting into the parts we're gonna be using, I don't remember exactly what the status is of these lowers and uppers. It's a receiver set from Ascend Armory, and I don't know if they're available. So do not quote me on this, but this is a cool receiver set. They do take about 8 months to receive. I've already covered this receiver set in depth in previous videos, but it is a very expensive matched receiver set. So I kind of flashed it earlier, but this is the barrel we're gonna be using. It is a 300 Blackout, and I believe this is an 8-inch barrel. This one is a ballistic advantage barrel. One of the things that I've always talked about in a lot of videos is, and I'm gonna make a whole series about this here in a little while that just dedicates to these topics, but I pick the bolt carrier group and the barrel first, and then everything else I build around that. That's because these two are your most important pieces of any build. Ballistic advantage, awesome barrels. This one is a 1.7 twist, 4150 chromoly vanadium, and it's an 8-inch barrel. The reason I say I build around the bolt and the barrel is because that's where all the explosions happen. So if you get a cheap barrel, it can blow up. If you get a cheap bolt, it can blow up. So what I do is when I get a barrel, I look for a barrel that's at least high pressure tested and magnetic particle inspected. You don't always have to go name brand. The thing is though, is when you do, some name brands pay for extra quality assurance over others. And then the same thing with my bolt. I do look at brand reputation, but that's not everything. But the main thing I look for is high pressure testing, magnetic particle inspected. And so I got this one here from CMC Triggers. Didn't know they made bolts, but they do. And the other thing I look at once I receive it, I make sure that my gas port is properly staked. And this one actually, to be straight up with you, this side looks good, but this side doesn't look that good. There are staking jigs you can get. I will probably take a punch and I will drive this side in before I really put it through its paces, but that's the bolt I'm using. That's the barrel I'm using. All right, got a bunch of stuff. The only part that I don't have is the charging handle because they accidentally sent me a charging handle for an AR-10 instead of an AR-15. And then the other part that I don't have is I don't have optics yet. I do have sights, but I don't have optics yet. Now, I'm obviously not going to be able to use all of this in this one build. A lot of this I requested, and then some of it they just threw in a box, which I'm really excited about. One of the first things I asked for is their stabilizing brace from Strike Industries. It's very interesting. It leverages a shortened buffer tube, a pistol buffer tube. And the reason I wanted this one has a button on the bottom and it's spring loaded. I thought that was really awesome. And I'm very excited about that. And it also comes with our Velcro pieces that attach to the sides here. And that way you can put the strap on it and use it as a wrist brace. Then it also comes with a shortened buffer and buffer spring. So that is a really exciting part. I've been wanting to check these out for a long time now. One thing I really wanted to do with this build was I really wanted to create an AR pistol in 300 Blackout that had a flush muzzle device. Let me show you what I mean. So this is the Gridlock light rail. Now, about a year or so ago, they came out with the Gridlock. They were really modular. They had a bunch of different components on them, and you could get these modular components in different colors. The thing is, well, they're kind of complicated. Not that that's a bad thing, but the thing is they just came out with this guy. And this is an 8.5-inch handguard. And you'll notice a couple things about it. It has an integrated front sight. I thought that was really awesome. It's kind of cumbersome because you kind of have to dig in there and pull it up, but nonetheless, it's there. I do wish that there was a switch so it would flip up, but there's not. But the cool thing is if you don't even want to run that, you can throw some Magpul M-Bus, which is probably what we'll do, on top of it with this rail here. Another interesting cool feature is this front design here. The way that this cuts out is going to be very important for our compensator and stuff that we'll talk about in a minute. Other cool thing is you don't got to mess with it. You push this latch in and it comes out and that releases the barrel nut. That's it. You literally just slide this on, you push that in, release it, and it's tightened. And it comes on and off super easily. Where this gets really cool, so this is their JComp Gen 2 for 30 caliber because we're doing 300 Blackout. And this is called their oppressor. So what it does is it redirects all the blast forwards instead of out to the side. Another interesting thing is because we are dealing with 300 Blackout, gassing the system could pose a little bit cumbersome on getting the cycling and all that stuff correctly. So we have an adjustable gas block and they also sent a pistol gas tube. But interesting thing about this gas block, I wanted to show it to you, and we have to put all the pieces in it. So it's not completely put together right now, but essentially it has this system here with a toolless adjustable gas block. And the way it works is you can see the bigger holes and then they get smaller and that goes up into that hole there. There is a detent and stuff that we do have to install. And what it will do is it'll create a ratcheting clicking effect. But we got to install all that when we install the gas tube. And because we have a quick release handguard that comes off really easily, we can just pop off the handguard, then we can click this into whatever we need and adjust it appropriately. I do have one concern with this gas block, is it doesn't have any screws that go straight into the barrel. They go sideways into it. And they do come with all the Loctite. It does tell you the appropriate torque specs in the instructions, but I've never had a gas block like that. That's why I showed you earlier, if you're not using this gas block, you're using a regular one, that's why you need to actually put some dimples in your barrel. But I thought that was really interesting, so I'm excited to test that. If the gun's overgassed, we can back it off. If it's undergassed, we'll have to get a little more creative. For the hand stop, they sent me a couple of different ones, but I'm primarily going to be using one for this build, and then I'm going to be applying these other ones to some other builds. They have this modular system, and essentially it's 3 pieces. You can rearrange them any way you like. I don't have enough room on the handguard for this one, but I am going to apply this to a different build. They also sent me these tiny little bikini guys. That's what they're calling bikinis. They're tiny little fellas, and you can place them on tiny little handguards. And then they sent me this one. This is probably my favorite one for this build because it fits on the handguard perfectly. I've already measured it out, and this one is called the Link Anchor. I'll make sure to have links to that. They also sent an angled vertical grip, which I'm gonna place on a different gun as well. They sent a bolt catch, but this receiver set that I'm using already has pre-installed bolt catches and mag releases. And they also sent a mag release. Because those are already pre-installed on this lower, I'm gonna be applying these to another build in the future. This next thing is pretty awesome. So these are called the Bang Band. You only need like one per rifle. They come in like a pack of 5. You'll notice that this band has this little fella right here. Essentially, just sit like this. And now all my cording is all tightly neat, and that's really cool. But you know, for this build, I don't know if I'm gonna run a light, and if I am gonna run a light, I don't know which light I'm gonna run yet. But let's jump up top real quick. I wanted to talk about what optics we're gonna be putting on this gun, maybe get some ideas from you guys, and then also if we are gonna run a light on here, and if we are, what light are we gonna run? This gun is done. So, need to kind of give you a couple updates here. I actually, recorded the intro and this part of the video separate days than when I built it. I actually got a couple of other parts that I wasn't able to mention up close. So with this gun, I was wanting to run a red dot with a magnifier. Now I got red dots that I can use on this gun, and I was going to originally purchase like a Vortex VMX 3X magnifier. Then I stumbled across this, and this was a combo of a red dot and a magnifier, and I got it for like $250. And which was a really good price considering I think the Vortex magnifier was like $220. So I was like, screw it, I'll just buy this. Now this is the Sig Sauer Romeo and Juliet. And the Romeo is the red dot and the Juliet is the magnifier. And this is the micro. There's different versions that you can get of these. Essentially, we got a red dot and a 3X magnifier, and they're super, super small. We will do a full review on these later, but for the most part, I can kick that out of the way when I wanna look straight through the red dot. And when I wanna get that zoomed in look, it goes right there, beautiful. This part back here works like a charm. Very nice little bracing system. I'm very curious to see how this shoots at the range. Another part that I picked up that I wasn't able to mention up close because I was waiting for it to arrive, pretty much ever since I got the carbon fiber AR-15 from Facts and Firearms a couple of years ago, it had a Radian 45-degree ambidextrous safety on it. And once I've experienced that safety, I have to put it on all of my guns now. I actually have one on that BCM that's way back there as well. And I just love it because you can just pop up, and you can literally pop up and defeat the safety, pull the trigger at the exact same time. Oh, it's beautiful. I also got these Strike Industries rail covers, and I also got, the foregrip on there, or the hand stop as well. Now, when we were looking at this guy up close, it looked a little bit cumbersome. Another thing I noticed is right up here with the barrel installed, all the ports 100% clear the handguard. And that's important because if the ports on this were recessed in here, there is an opportunity for it to blow apart your handguard. I've seen it on Instagram a few times. That way, if that's something you want to use for yourself, you're good to go. I did have to order a new dust cover. So basically I had a plastic dust cover on here before and it broke. And I have other dust covers, but this upper is a little bit finicky, doesn't like certain dust covers. So I ordered another dust cover, put it on, and the little detent that snaps into place isn't long enough. So I got to figure something else out. So I am curious to see how this thing's going to shoot at the range. Right now, it is super comfortable to come from low ready up to here It's also super comfortable to come out to here and to here. Another thing that I kind of noticed about it, in the hand, the oppressor doesn't feel very heavy, but because it's out on the end of the muzzle, when you take it off, this thing is so much lighter. Just having that weight dangling out there makes a difference on how quickly you can pop up. I feel like it has more balance without the oppressor. We just gotta see how it feels with live fire. But I love how I can take this, I can actually collapse it down. And although I have an 8-inch barrel, packs down nice and compact and looks absolutely sexy in my humble opinion. If we're at the range and all we gotta do is take the oppressor off, take the handguard off, and then we can come right here and we just gotta go click, 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 and you get that detent that stops it. So that way we'll be able to, if it's overgassed, we can lower the gas if we like. We're ready to go, and that was super quick. But yeah, super excited. We're gonna be making a ton more videos on this, as well as doing a full review once we get quite a few rounds through it. I don't know if I'm gonna do 500 rounds, because 300 Blackout's like $1 a bullet, if not more right now, but we'll see. But there'll definitely be multiple videos coming with more in-depth reviews of each of these parts. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already. But until next time, I love you, and you guys stay sexy.